Go auction.
Attention, you're listening to the Todd Huff Radio Show, America's home for conservative, not bitter talk radio. Be advised that the content of this program has been documented to prevent and even cure liberalism, and listening may cause you to lean to the right. Here's your conservative, but not bitter host, Todd Huff.
Yes, that is right. You are listening to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. Yes, I'm your host, Todd Huff. Hour 2 here on YouTube. Also can be heard on the radio. Freedom 95 can be heard as a podcast. Well, no, Hour 2 is for subscribers only digitally. Hour 1 is a podcast. You can search iTunes for the Todd Huff Show. But anyway, it's good to be here. Thank you for joining us. Still working on streaming more hour 1 of the program on YouTube as well, and Hour 2 of the program on Facebook, if Facebook will let us do that. I want to continue our conversation here from last hour. We were talking about race in politics. I shared with you a letter written by Sean P. Diddy Combs. What are we looking at here? List of, there's a close screenshot or a picture. Looks like people are thinking Kamala Harris is going to be the pick. We'll see. But anyway, I'm looking at Fox News in the background here. But talking about this very subject, talking about the very subject of Biden's VP choice and how P. Diddy, as I shared last hour, when I was at Butler in the late 90s into 2000, 99 was my last season, I guess, on the team there, because I graduated in 2000, spring of 2000. But friends called me Huff Daddy. Didn't even know what that meant back then, but apparently it was in honor of Puff Daddy. They called me Huffy Combs. Huffy Combs and Huff Daddy. That's the two things they called me. But anyhow, talking here about this letter, this statement given by black male leaders. And I read it, and we talked about it, and we're talking about race in politics. And I've read some different, opinions on this. In fact, I've looked at this thread where this writer, Kat Stafford, for the AP, National Race and Ethnicity writer, she posted this letter from P. Diddy to Twitter, and of course I've been reading some of the comments. And it's interesting. You'll have someone make a comment about Biden's pick. I don't care, what a group of people thinks about his pick. It's Biden's choice. Of course, it's not Biden's choice. It's Biden's handler's choice is who this comes down to. Biden may wonder if Trump can be his VP choice. I don't know. But I'm kidding. But, the response to people that say that is, things like, of course, I read a comment here. Of course, this individual wouldn't care because I think looks like a white man. You can't tell in his profile pic because he's got a mask on, and his mask goes almost up to his bottom eyelids. By the way, I saw dentists are now saying there's a condition called mouth mask from people that are wearing their masks for prolonged periods of time. It's actually causing gum and tooth problems from the mouth. So I don't know where the scientific community will come down on this. Is it scientific? What does science tell us about wearing masks if that, of course, is the case? But anyway, people say, of course, you wouldn't care to this white guy. You've been represented in every single election since your birth. Now, all of a sudden, when black people demand payback for resuscitating Biden's campaign, it's all, quote, no one gets to demand anything. So basically, payback. The black community saved Biden in South Carolina, right? Remember this? I mean, this is This is how this all played out. South Carolina determined everything. South Carolina, which was before Super Tuesday, was the precursor to the phone calls that were made by the party chiefs, by the folks in charge, by the big donors. They called up Pete Buttigieg, and they said, drop out and endorse Biden. Otherwise, Bernie might be our guy, and that's a political death sentence because he'll get destroyed by Trump. And they call up Elizabeth Warren, who may or may not be related to me since I am the 13th great-grandson of Pocahontas. But they call Elizabeth Warren up and they say, hey, drop out of the race. Now, she got the memo last, and they call up Amy Klobuchar, drop out. You can name whatever you want in the future. This is a future IOU, but we need you to drop out and endorse Joe because otherwise we're going to have a Bernie Sanders presidency or nomination, and that's not good. And this all hinged on South Carolina. Joe Biden won South Carolina, and that's when they decided. That's when the party bosses, the big money donors decided we're all in on Joe Biden. Now, they were hesitant. They were still having conversations behind the scene. What happens if this guy exposes himself as being unfit for office, which we all know that he is. I mean, I'm telling you, that inner circle fully is aware of this. That's why they kept him behind lock and key in the basement of his home. And it's sad. Look, I don't take any pleasure in this. When you're trying to communicate ideas and what's going on, you can quickly go through something, but it's sad. I take no pleasure in Joe Biden's always done things like gaffes. And you go back to earlier in his career, he was very, methodical. I don't know if that, just devious. You look at, he stole speeches, which, in today's political world, that's chump change, man. That's nothing in 2020. But Biden was out there lifting speeches from people, making them his own, challenging reporters. Biden still, now he wants to challenge people to push-up contests. He wants to challenge Trump to a race. Like Biden thinks this is 8th grade or something. The fastest kid gets the girl or something. Race it to the swing set and back, Trump. Let's do a push-up contest right here, right now. You've heard Biden challenge people to push-up contests in the audience, calling people fat. Hey, fat. And then his campaign says, no, he was saying that's a fact. He just had a slip of the tongue. No, he did not. Patently absurd. So, there's this identity politics battle that's being waged here. And these black leaders say you should and you have to nominate, or I guess name as your nominee, your running mate, a black woman. And I ended last hour by reading a comment, which I told Oz during the break. I don't understand this. I understand liberals, I do. But I just don't understand how the mind gets to this point to where this is how you view things. But this letter that P. Diddy wrote that was signed by 100 other black leaders, it closes by saying this: black women are defining the future of politics. So it's time you let one define the future of your campaign. What is that? Black women are defining the future of politics? At some level, you start to dissect that sentence. I don't know what that really means. Black women are defining the future of politics. Defining it. The future of politics. Is it changing the future of politics? It seems to me that the Democratic Party has been trying to capitalize on identity politics for a long time. It seems to me that they've talked about race and gender and all these other factors and trying to basically pit groups of people against each other to actually go out and define enough different groups that they can identify based upon whatever. Race, now it's a gender. There's not just two genders in the mind of today's Democrat. There's 56 or whatever it is. You go out and get enough of these groups together, convince them that the folks that are not part of their group are trying to demonize and destroy them, trying to build their fortunes upon their backs or whatever, trying to discriminate against them, wake up every morning. I mean, how's it even conceivable for the average person to have hatred for this? I couldn't even keep these groups of people straight. The way that sometimes they tell me the younger generation of the radical leftist or the liberal, I'm Stacy, my preferred pronoun is this or that. I'm cisgender, that. I'm totally, I don't even know what they're talking about at some point. How can I possibly have hatred for all these groups of people that they want to classify? It's unmanageable. It's unmanageable for the average person. They act like every day people wake up to say, how can I inflict harm upon this group of people and this group of people and this group of people? I'm not saying that nobody exists like that. I'm just saying that that's not the people that I know. That's not the people that I've met. It's not the people that I've crossed paths with in business. It's not the people I've dealt with at church. That's not the people I've dealt with on this program. It's just not. It is not. I've met and dealt with quite a few people, and it's just not the people that I know. Again, I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm not saying they don't live in the shadows somewhere. I'm not saying that they're not nefarious and just a bad cast of characters out there. I'm just saying it's not around every corner. And I don't know what it means to say black women are defining the future of politics. Is it just because that right now it's politically advantageous to be black and to be a woman? Is that what that means? I don't know what it means. Black women are defining the future of politics. What are they wanting to change about? Are they wanting to change how politics itself operates? I'm okay with that. Politics is a bunch of junk right now. Identity politics, hatred, rage. That's why we're conservative, not bitter on here, by the way. It's who I am. It's what I believe, and I don't have hatred and rage for people. I also don't think just because you're a certain race, gender, ethnicity, religion, or anything else that you're superior, or that you are because of those identifying criteria, that you are suddenly defining the future of politics. That's just patently absurd to me. That is without any substance. This is how you build a foundation of true racism. You say, and I know this isn't popular to say, but it's true. You say, hey, if you're a black woman or whatever, it doesn't even matter if it's black woman. It means whatever the race of the day is, you are the ones that have been chosen and selected or whatever to be the leaders based upon your gender and your skin color. It's just truly insane to think like that. We know better than this. But they do it because it works. It connects with an emotional value to some people. It's the emotion of this. I said before when Obama was president, and I say it again, it's good that America had actually gotten to a point where she could vote to elect a black president of the United States. That is a good thing. Now, it wasn't good that America decided to vote for Barack Obama and elect him to be the first black president simply because of his ideas. I don't know what's so hard for some people to come to grips with about these sorts of things. His ideas are what made him undesirable to me. I like Ben Carson. I liked Bobby, going back to 2016, I liked Bobby Jindal. I liked Ted Cruz. I liked Marco Rubio. I liked Carly Fiorina a bit for a while, but I think isn't she endorsing Biden now or some such thing? I don't know. But I go through it makes no difference to me, these identifying marks, check the box for race and gender and whatever else. And I get it, it's politics, but at the same time, it's hard to get anywhere. It's hard to move forward when we're basing it on these these superficial factors, which I'm not saying historically, they certainly have mattered. Unfortunately, America had some really bad history as it pertains to race. There's no question about this. It's undeniable. But it doesn't mean it hasn't been fixed. It doesn't mean that we should continue to go down that the path of focusing on race today? And I just get tired of saying these things because to me the answer is so obvious. Maybe it's because of just, I don't know, the Christian faith. Maybe it's just a common sense, a combination thereof. I don't know. But folks, all people are made in the image of God. Not one single person is better off, in a sense of being better than someone else because of the race. That's just not the way that this works. We're all equal, have the same inherent value because our value is created by God, our creator. It's not based upon our value in what we do, the positions we hold, the jobs that we have on this planet. By the way, the jobs we do might be worth different values. The jobs some person has, and I'm not saying those jobs should be or ought to be or whatever, based upon race or gender. I'm just saying there are things that make us more valuable, the job that we're doing, but our value as a human being is equal amongst everybody. No one's worth more. Someone might be worth more to a business because of their role and their skill and what they're doing, but that in no way, shape, manner, or form means that they are worth more as a human being. In fact, the people that are worth less, so to speak, to a business, the job function they're playing might not be as valuable as someone else. They might be more valuable to another group of people because of the role they play there. Life is much more complex than some people want you to believe in that sense. It's not just, you can't boil these things down to super simple things. And there are lots of a lot of grounds for agreement between people of all different backgrounds. And we're never going to get there when we focus on these things and say things like black women or say white men to take some of the sting out of this for people. To say that white men are defining the future of politics is just patently ridiculous to me, as though the race has anything to do with it as far as the ideas or the direction America should go. It's based upon the idea. It's based upon the principles, the values. But I know and you know that's not how this is done. This is all done for superficial reasons, and I've got to take a break. Drives me crazy, but that's where we are. So sit tight. Continue this discussion when we return. Be back in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
We all know having health insurance doesn't always equal health care. That's why at Freedom HealthWorks, we believe the key to maintaining good health is based on a straightforward, personal relationship with your physician. With our direct doctor-patient relationship model, we remove your healthcare middleman and replace him with transparent pricing and incentive to call your doctor at the first sign of illness. So if you're ready to experience real care from a doctor that really cares about you, go to freedomhealthworks.com and learn more about the benefits of our direct primary care model. Freedom HealthWorks. Be treated better.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went, in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
Hi, my name is John Swadner, Sales Director of the Todd Huff Show. As a listener of the program, you know the show is growing. 4 years ago, it began as a podcast in a closet. Today, it's a 2-hour show that airs during morning drive in Indy and in Utah, and we're just scratching the surface. Todd brought me on board to help the show and our advertisers grow. That's why I'm specifically looking for partners who are a good fit to advertise with us. Would that be you? To learn more about what advertising would look like and to determine if it's a good fit for your business, shoot me an email to john@toddhuffshow.com. And be sure to ask me about some of our special packages that will save you up to 40%. Email john@toddhuffshow.com. Shoot me an email today.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the kids have flown the nest and you find yourself wondering what to do with all of that extra space. This is Bruce of Bruce Richardson Realty. My team and I understand that life changes and so do your home needs. So whether you're downsizing or upsizing, give us a call at 317-507-3285. Let us help you find the best fit for your residential or your commercial property needs. 317-507-3285.
Welcome back. From the sounds of things, it looks like Biden might actually make his announcement of VP pick today. I don't know. I mean, again, I think that they're over there doing two things. One of two things. One, they're saying, look, the more we keep focus on the VP pick, the less Biden's got to talk about issues. The more we talk about whether or not it's going to be Karen Bass or Susan Rice or Kamala Harris or whoever else. There's a couple others on that short list, including I'm still pulling for Elizabeth Warren. I am. As the official spokesperson for the Pocahontas family, I look forward to a few more months of being able to comment on some of the things she's going to say, some of the things she has said, how that relates to, when Trump would call her Pocahontas. I can tell you when we're offended by that, when we're not. So I'm looking forward to that, but I don't think that's going to be what happens here. It looks like, I think it looks like, well, it's going to be one of those three. And probably, out of those three, I don't know how there's problems with all three, but it looks like, I think many people think it's going to be Kamala Harris. We'll see. I don't know. But once they make that choice, once they make that announcement, then what? I know the media is going to fall. There'll be stories on this about how it's historic and there'll be all that kind of stuff. But that's not going to take us to the election, folks. After all this dust settles with this announcement, the Biden campaign is left with a very real problem. They're going to have to run a campaign. They're going to have to get their guy up on stage. They're going to have to cross their fingers and hope that he's not absolutely annihilated on stage by President Trump, or that he doesn't say offensive things during the campaign to voters. Things like, you ain't black if you don't vote for Biden over Trump. Things like, Biden's going to beat Biden. Things like lying dog-faced pony soldier. This is the spotlight is going to brighten from here. And once they make this announcement for their candidate, now they're coming up with other shenanigans and things to distract people, from the true lack of substance with this campaign. They've got an endless line of opportunities. But the truth is, it's not as easy to get away with it once you name your vice presidential running mate. Now that the ticket is set, the convention's, the convention's next week, the Democrat virtual convention. Virtual convention, and Biden is America's first virtual candidate, running a completely fabricated, made-up campaign. Hide him in the closet, simulated campaign, not real. I'm waiting for the time. There's all this talk about deep fake videos. I think the Biden campaign is thinking, man, how can we use that technology to make a deep fake of Biden, and we can just run that, computer generated image of Biden video, and we can put the words into his mouth that he can say. They would love a simulated campaign, and they're doing their best to get away with it. But the truth is, there's going to have to be a campaign at some point, and it's going to involve flesh and blood Joe Biden on the stage with flesh and blood Donald Trump. No matter what they try to do about it, this is set in stone. And so the opportunity to hide behind this announcement and whatever other superficial news that the left has is vanishing quickly. So we'll see what happens. It looks like today might be the day. Oh, we've been holding our breaths for this. Holding our collective breath for this. By the way, I find it interesting, and Oz mentioned this during the break. She said, I thought it was supposed to be last week, and I thought it was supposed to be yesterday. I mean, that's the dates they keep giving us. I heard August 3rd, then I heard August 10th, which was yesterday, which is perfect because that was our 5-year anniversary. We could have honored Biden as well, honored his VP pick, but we weren't given that opportunity. So I guess we can do our best to honor that on another date. We just don't know what that date's going to be, though it's starting to look like they've decided. But I'm telling you, I still believe that there had to be some convincing, or there was at least some pause. If it is Kamala Harris, I think Kamala Harris paused. I think she thought, is this really the right decision? Is this really, do I really want to connect my political futures to Joe Biden, the guy whose campaign is being held together by duct tape and, whatever other string and thread, maybe a couple of buttons from your junk drawer at home. It's holding this thing together. Do I really want to hitch to that, connect to that, be a part of that? Again, they wanted us to believe that that's what happened in 2016 when Trump was looking for a VP, but I think it's much, much more likely to be the case today. Now, of course, when you're asked, you say humbling, but it's actually a pretty big boost to one's ego. So it's hard to say no to these things, and I'm sure, but I just think that it's something that has to cross your mind. The folks in politics today are so methodical, and they think about these symbolic steps more than anything else. Every step is plotted and planned along the path, and so they are carefully selecting their steps. Even though many of them at some point make a misstep, they try to craft this step. Who do I associate with? Who am I tied to? How can this benefit me? How can this give me more power, prestige, money, opportunities to write a book or whatever? So we'll see. It could be coming later today, and of course we'll talk about that whenever it does happen, but I want to shift gears when we come back next segment. So sit tight. We'll be back in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, President of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
Are you one of the growing number of Hoosiers who are concerned about higher taxes, ever-increasing spending, and massive debt in Indiana? So am I. I'm Donald Rainwater, and I'm the Libertarian candidate for governor here in the state of Indiana. As your governor, I'll work to reduce the size of state government, protect your individual rights, and keep more of your money in your pocket. I believe every Hoosier is essential. I also believe that every Hoosier has equal protection under the law to operate their business, attend religious observations, and provide an income for their household, even in a crisis. I believe that all Hoosier businesses provide the necessities of life to their owners and employees. As your governor, I will safeguard your rights to life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness as defined by you, not the government. To learn more, go to rainwaterforindiana.com. In Indiana, we need better government, not bigger government. And on November 3rd, I need your vote. My name's Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message. Paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931. But what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Welcome back. We've been talking about race and politics. How about we shift gears here a tad bit and talk about race in math? You might have thought that math was based on facts. You might have thought that math is just what math is, that we discover math, but math is just, it's not based upon opinion. In fact, when I was at Butler, I had a calculus professor. Her name was Dr. Guh, G-E. And when she would talk to the class about math, and she would be explaining, she had what I would consider the, when they say or huh, whenever they're talking, I think she had a similar thing. And when she would talk about math, she would write it on the board or whatever it was, and she would say, or something like that. And I remember thinking, or something like that. It is that, right? It's math. Math, there's really no gray area in math. I mean, math is, you talk about, this is scientific. There's no interpretation. I mean, I'm not saying math doesn't, there's not new ways to think about math, but math is not something that we're just haphazardly creating along the way. Math is what math is. So I'm looking here at theblaze.com. Math education professor says using 2 + 2 = 4 to show math's objectivity, quote, reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. I mean, what on earth? So did you know if you say 2 + 2 = 4, if you're in a meeting today and you say that's as basic as 2 + 2 = 4, did you know that reeks of white supremacist patriarchy? I mean, it's just nuts where we find ourselves. The idea, she says, Lori Rubel, Brooklyn College, the idea that math or data is culturally neutral or in any way objective is a myth. Now, pause for a moment. Math or data. Now this is, okay, this is a little bit of sleight of hand because math is not synonymous with data. I mean, data can be manipulated. Data, people can use data, but look, when you add, if the starting point is the data is accurate, and you say, let's add this data to this data, or let's see what this percent is of this, like that, the math part of that is not the same as extrapolating the data from, especially human sources. The math is the math. Those two things are not synonymous. You use math in calculating data, but there's an input portion, the collection of the data, that is not mathematical. In fact, it's rife with opportunities for people to manipulate the data. The manipulation isn't through the math. If it's through the math, you can clearly go back and see the miscalculation. It's easier to deceive people through how the data is collected. For example, asking a question like this. If you ask the question, are you going to vote for, President Trump or Joe Biden in the 2020 election, knowing that President Trump is a Nazi, fascist, racist, hater of women, children, all things good. He's a bigoted homophobe. Or Joe Biden, who's a nice man. Who are you going to vote for? That will influence some people to say Joe Biden. Because they don't want to tell that person on the phone, even if they're going to vote for Trump, they don't want to tell that person on the phone that they're going to vote for a guy that they just described in such a manner. Anyway, so this Lori Rubel, professor at Brooklyn College, tweeted last week, again, I'm looking at the Blaze here, the idea that math or data is culturally neutral or in any way objective is a myth. So math is not objective. You may not have known this. I'm ready to move on with that understanding. Who's coming with me? She also added in a subsequent tweet, if I can spit it out here, along with the course of math is neutral because 2 + 2 = 4 trope, are the related and creepy math is pure and protect math, reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. I'd rather think of nurturing people and protecting the planet with math in service of them goals. Them goals. That's what she said, them goals. So apparently math is now a tool to be used to nurture people. I figured that'd be the humanities, the social services, and that sort of thing. But math is just what it is. Math doesn't care about feelings or hardships. Math is about calculating things you're supposed to calculate. That's what it is. It's not about anything. It's not about anything else. It's about protecting the planet. I mean, what in the world is wrong with these folks? And did you know that saying that 2 + 2 = 4 reeks of white supremacist patriarchy? And she's serious. That's the thing. She's serious. Anyway, just wanted to share that. I mentioned it off the top and had it in the list of stuff that I wanted to get to. Now I've done it. Shared that with you. Oh my gosh. Racist patriarchy. What is it? It reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. You know, when something becomes in vogue to say, which white supremacy is it today, you can say it to anything. And you're cool, you have insight, you are profound, you are genius for pointing these things out. She's saying it about math. I tell you what, you start to wonder at some point if, I'm an optimistic guy, but at some point I begin to scratch my head and think, I'm borderline, I get close to thinking this is hopeless. Yeah, to being able to convince someone like this of anything in the realm of reality, I begin to think this almost seems like a hopeless endeavor if you think math reeks of white supremacist patriarchy. And I got to take a time out. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk, where, by the way, 2 + 2 does equal 4, and we love people of all races, colors, ethnicities, creeds, religions, and so forth as well, because that's what God expects us to do. But anyway, those two things are, in my mind, completely compatible, but not in the mind of this lunatic leftist professor. So shifting gears again when we get back. Sit tight. Be back in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
Our partner, Global Plasma Solutions, has published ionization testing results that demonstrate a 99.4% reduction rate on a SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 surface strain within 30 minutes. This is the first instance that an air purification company has effectively neutralized SARS-CoV-2. Commercial Service Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is installing this solution in businesses and homes in South Central Indiana. Get your free information kit at commercialservice.com/info. Commercial Service, commercial-grade service for your home.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout Central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at zuluscape.com.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 down, $200 back up, $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freegee, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freegee, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freegee, owner and lead auctioneer at Freegee & Freegee Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
When life is hard for the women you care about, there is help with issues such as widowhood, anxiety, depression, or abuse. They don't have to go through it alone. Peace Restored is there to walk with women through the journey. Peace Restored helps women through free mentoring, counseling, and education. When life is hard, Peace Restored is there to help women you care about find hope and healing. To learn more, visit peacerestored.net.
Kind of pick up where we were last segment, but move to a different topic, although it's very similar. I guess if you're in a classroom and the teacher says, or a student says, 2 + 2 = 4, of course the teacher should, because of what we learned from this professor last segment, teacher needs to identify that's racist. I've got a white supremacist in the classroom. If they're going to say 2 + 2 = 4, at which time the teacher should engage in, as this nutty teacher says, in destabilizing this kid's racism. So this is Matthew K. I've seen this. This is from the Daily Wire, I believe. So Matthew K. is a professor, I want to say in Philadelphia, teacher. And he tweets this. So keep in mind, so we got the classrooms are what they are, excuse me. With COVID, some people are going to be watching class remotely. I don't know how this, if there's some kids in class, I don't know the details, but there's virtual classes. So he goes to Twitter to say this. Now this is serious. This is supposed to be read with like empathy and like, wow, this is a tough position for this guy to be in. Matthew R.K. is this guy's name. So this fall, he writes, virtual class discussions will have many potential spectators, parents, siblings, etc., in the same room. First of all, it's obvious, you've learned, I've learned that people who are doing things that they don't want exposed, they like to do those in darkness. They don't like, this is why government, we have this idea that there's public discourse and debates. This is why, by the way, town councils and school boards and so forth, and other groups as well, try to skirt the rules to have their meetings in public because people don't like to be under any amount of scrutiny. So he says, we're going to have a bunch of parents, siblings, and everything else in our virtual classrooms. We'll never be quite sure who is overhearing the discourse. What does this do for our equity inclusion work? He continues in the next tweet. How much have students depended on the somewhat secure barriers of our physical classrooms to encourage vulnerability? How many of us have installed some version of what happens here stays here to help this? While conversations about race are in my wheelhouse and remain a concern in this no-walls environment, I am most intrigued by the damage that helicopter snowplow parents can do in honest conversations about gender, sexuality. And while conservative parents are my chief concern, I know that damage can come from the left too. Well, there's a shocking idea. If we are engaged in the messy work of destabilizing a kid's racism or homophobia or transphobia, how much do we want their classmates' parents piling on? This guy, so math is racist, we learned last segment. And now we know that teachers, at least according to this guy's rule book, are there primarily to destabilize a kid's racism, homophobia, and transphobia. Folks, they believe that they're in social engineering. That's what they believe. That's what they believe. You want to know why there's a push for homeschooling and Christian schooling and other alternative schooling? It's because of this nonsense. These folks don't like being exposed to the light. They don't like people knowing what they're doing. And I'm not saying this is every teacher. Don't misunderstand. But I'm telling you this. Teachers' unions embrace this stuff fully, and teachers are getting information about this insanity, right? So you might be thinking you're sending little Johnny to school to learn math, which you've now learned is racist. Now you're realizing little Johnny at school, there's teachers in that school, almost certainly, at least one or two, or maybe, God forbid, half of them, or 3/4 of them, I don't know, it depends on the district and the teacher. But anywhere from a couple of outliers to a whole bunch of folks who believe that their primary purpose is to socially engineer, to destabilize what they determine to be racism in your child, which of course is the byproduct of their being white or whatever, being raised by conservative parents. They're there to fix them. They're there to fix them. And his biggest problem is the conservative parents. I mean, alternative universe. Completely alternative universe. So there you go. And we wonder why our education system is crumbling around us. Sit tight. Be back in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
I love my community, and I wanted to do more to make a difference with my hard-earned dollars. I wanted to make an impact and help shape our future and our county. So I gave money to the Community Foundation of Morgan County. More than just charitable giving, the money I donate is tracked and measured so every dollar is held accountable. It's a social return on your investment. Why don't you join me in donating at cfmconline.org? That's cfmconline.org. Philanthropy with measurable impact.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Indy Decorative Concrete is hiring immediately. They're looking for workers with experience finishing concrete. Pay is $25 to $30 per hour with weekly overtime. All jobs are located within the city of Indianapolis. Call 317-784-1464 or apply in person at their offices located at 8366 Brookville Road, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46239. They're open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, visit their website, www.indydecorativeconcrete.com. www.indydecorativeconcrete.com.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change Counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that kills more people than drunk driving. In fact, radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Is radon threatening the health of your family? Call Radon Environmental at 317-843-0804. Radon Environmental specializes in radon testing and mitigation. The process is quick, easy, and worth it. Radon Environmental wants to make sure your family's health is not at risk. Call 317-843-0804.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
Welcome back. And they wonder why folks like me or folks in this audience or folks that you know have a problem with our public education system. People wonder why, befuddled, whenever you say things like, I'm not a fan of public education, and you point to stuff like this. This is, I don't know, confusing. The people that just live their lives don't really realize the ideologues, the social justice warriors, or whatever else that we're dealing with inside these school districts, they believe that they're trying to save the kids from their parents. And it's exactly 100% opposite of that. We need to save our kids from these radical teachers. I've got to go. Thanks for listening. SDG. See you tomorrow. Take care. As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you